Hello viewers, my name is Dr. Rajul Dutt, and in this video I'll be dealing with the subject Introduction to Marketing, wherein I have discussed about as to what is the meaning of market and marketing. Along with, I have chosen three definitions each to discuss and to understand the concept of market and marketing, that is the distinction between the market and marketing. Along with these, I have also taken into consideration the elements of marketing, wherein I have discussed about needs, wants, and demand, the concept of product, and the concept of value, cost, and satisfaction. Now let's start with the introduction to marketing. So let us start with the first topic of the marketing management, that is introduction to marketing management. Now, before going into the details of marketing management, as we all know, is a dynamic business discipline. It would be better to understand the basic related terms and phrases such as marketing, its roles, its limitations, concepts, and ideas to have a clear understanding of basics to understand marketing management. We all know that marketing is an ancient art and has been practiced in one form or the other since the primitive stage or early stage of mankind. The marketing can be considered to be an omnipresent entity because it permeates most of our daily activities as of today. For example, when we start our day, when you start your day, your morning tea, your newspaper, you go through your breakfast, the dress you put on for the day, the vehicle you drive, the lunch and dinner or the evening snacks, the kind of the food outlet you choose, what the kind the types of food you eat, or what kind of drinks you take, depends upon your laptop, the internet connection, your your mobile handset you have, and even your email ID. uh, you know uh, Everything you use and everything around you has been touched by marketing. So we cannot ignore marketing. We are part and parcel of this marketing environment. This the impact of this marketing environment has a lot more importance in our daily lives, even if you go through it. So there are so many. I have just given a few. If you list down, you will have hundreds of things which you use right from morning till the time you go to bed. So hence marketing activities and strategies results in making products available that results results into the satisfaction for the customers while making profits for the companies that offer those products. So what we are talking about, that the organizations or the companies, they manufacture products, they put it on sale, and with the certain profits they earn, they try to satisfy the customers, satisfy by providing them with the products. Now, at the very basics, if we try to understand, when we talk about product, I'll be dealing with this particular, but P, that is product at length in the later my forthcoming videos. But here to let us understand, the customers, they have got problems. Let us understand this way. They look out for the solutions for the product, and therefore they buy the product. The companies or the marketing people, they put up these problems into a suggestible solution in the form of products. So there are two parties. One is seller, who has converted these the solutions for the products in a way in the product, and then there is the customer who has got certain problems. That is why the when you buy something, you are not actually paying for the product. You are actually buying the benefits to be derived from the products. For example, if I this tube light, for example, we have all LED lights. it is not because they are LED lights or tube lights we buy these products. We buy exactly, we give money for the illumination when it is dark. With the help of these tube lights or the LED lights, the room gets illuminated and we can do the work at night also. So this is at night you cannot see anything, and therefore there is a solution that you put up the tube lights or an LED lights, and the area gets illuminated. So this is the basic fundamental. Before you going into the depth, I'll be dealing with all these things at a great length. So, in order to meet the need of the students and professionals, the main objective now is to develop a structure, a theory of managerial marketing. Now, let us understand, the subject is marketing management. In a way, it is management of marketing. The principles of management we have studied in the first semester, or in earlier we have studied the principles and practices of management, and therefore these things into the marketing. Now marketing is an activity, and then we'll deal with the very concept of marketing management as to how to manage the marketing activities. So theory of marketing, around which you can have a better understanding of it. Now, this understanding, can serve mainly two important tasks. Now, what are these two important tasks? Firstly, it will help to obtain new insights from the experiences you will be acquiring on the job in future. Now, when you have, when we study something, when we gain knowledge, now another thing which is very important for us as professionals is to implement the knowledge into practice. So this is one, say, one has acquired the basic fundamentals, the whole idea of the concepts of it, and therefore as to how do you practice it. This is one aspect. And secondly, understanding marketing management will permit a better grasp of the role of marketing in economic development, which many countries, especially the developing countries, we talk about India for that matter, are so earnestly seeking. So there are two tasks of understanding, of going through this particular subject, what we call it as marketing management. So there are two aspects related to it. Now, hence, very important to understand here is that the study of marketing management, therefore, leads to a better evaluation of marketing activities in terms of its performance in meeting the customer's needs. Now, very important is to understand that there is a difference now with marketing management and the marketing activities. So, marketing management leads to a better evaluation of marketing activities. I'll be discussing as to what we mean by this evaluation. So there are certain parameters on here when we talk about, there are certain activities which what we call it as in marketing activities. Now when we talk about a business organization, there are various types of activities. We know in a manufacturing unit, for an example, there are mainly four departments: the finance or the accounts departments, and then we have got the HR department, we have got the marketing department, and we do have production department. So the activities that we see of all these four departments are quite different from each other. So when we are in the subject of this marketing management, we are only concerned with the activities related to the marketing department, and therefore this I have in the first two lines, it's gives an impression that the study of marketing management leads to a better evaluation of marketing activities, that is management of marketing in terms of its performance in meeting customer needs. The central idea of marketing is to understand these as to what we call it as needs. Now, marketing activities and strategies results in making products available that satisfy customers while making profits for companies that offer products. So we'll be discussing on these marketing activities, and with the help of these marketing activities, if we understand the activities, only it is then we can make strategies. Now strategies again is a game plan, a plan which we draw or which we make in looking into the competitive environment, external environment, competitive environment. Every organization therefore is exposed to the uncontrollable factors, and that is where the strategies comes into the picture. So now let us therefore first understand the two important terms. One is marketing and market, and sorry, and the other is marketing. Before putting up, going into the intent of as to what this marketing management is all about. So have taken, when we talk about market, the Philip Kotler has defined a set of all actual and potential buyers of product. So, if we go through this one line, this definition implies that wherever there is a buyer of a product or a service, there is a market. That means there are two parties, one who is giving the offer uh, in terms of product, and the other who has got certain problems and is looking out for a solution in terms of a product. Now, this is where the number of the customers for the product is being termed as market. So it is succeeded in changing the view that market is a place. So this gives rise to two important aspects to understand. One is the earlier it was being been considered market as a place where there are certain shops wherein there are certain sellers, where there are buyers, they're interacting with each other and the exchange is taking place. This is one aspect of market, and this is again which goes even today. When we talk about in general terms, your mommy says, your father says, where, you ask them, where are you going? They say, we are going to for market, for shopping. So there is a place where there are a whole lot of different products are been displayed, or different shops are there. So this is one. According to this, the market is the number of the buyers for the product is the market. For example, if the product is of such a nature, say no, lipstick, for example, so again, the lipstick is for females. So if we talk about, I take one aspect, that is gender. So on the basis of the gender, we can categorize that if there in within the population, if 60% is are males and 40% is are females. So therefore, the market for this particular product would not be 100%, would be 40% of it, because there are only 40% females, and this product is the lipstick is for females. This is just a broader idea to give you as to what do we mean by a market. So now this becomes a total market. That means now the 40% is the market for this particular product. Now the second definition is according to Cochrane, a market is some sphere uh, where or space where certain physical and institutional arrangements could be seen, and the forces of demand and supply are at work to determine prices with the view of transferring the ownership of some quantity of a good or service. So Cochrane, again has given us a little more extension as to what the market is looked upon. So these are various, practitioners, they are professionals who have given their definitions, and I've selected three for this format. In books you may find, in textbooks you may find more definitions. I've selected these two, so I had to have an idea as to what does, when we talk about as a market, as a student of marketing, as to what does this word or term market should indicate us. So as per this definition, it is suggested that exchange takes place in a market for consideration. Now, what is this consideration? This consideration is price. Price is, in developing countries, and more so if we talk about India, and, we are a very price conscious society. So one aspect is price, and also that exchange takes place with a certain physical and institutional structure. Now, physical structure is as to what the Kotler has also defined. He has not mentioned about it, but he's talking about, the Kotler has defined in terms of the number of the buyers, whether present or potential, that would be the market. Again, this is an extension as to what I have tried to explain in the earlier definition also, that when we talk about market, again it has got a different meaning to it. Now the Cochrane has taken both the aspects. One, the physical aspects. Physical aspect is the physical presence of the shops, and the physical presence of the sellers, and the physical presence of the buyers. This is what the institutional structure is, and that becomes an institution. For example, the area where there are so many shopkeepers, and the products are displayed for the customers to buy. And therefore, thereby, the role of various facilities required to facilitate transfer of ownership are indicated. Now, this facilitates indicates that it becomes easy, when there is a particular demarked place where there are so many shops, there are so many products displayed, and the sellers, they're selling their products in exchange with what? In exchange with the money. So they, and all the products, they carry a price factor to it. So it becomes easy. The people, they know as to from where to buy the product. I've earlier also touched a little more that when we talk about customers, they are looking out for the solutions of their problems. The sellers, they have put these problems as a solution into a product. They've converted this idea into a tangible, what we call it as, product. So both the aspects has been taken care in this particular definition. Now the third definition is given, I have selected for, is the Coles and Earl explained what market is as an arena wherein all buyers and sellers were highly sensitive to each other's transaction, and where what one did affected the other. What one did affected the other. Now affected here means there are one other, each other is what? Each other is the seller and the buyer. So there are two parties into it, and then if we call it as a market. So it is, and if we try to understand this definition, this concept focuses on a situation where all buyers and sellers would be able to communicate with one another, because there is a space there, an arena space where the shopkeepers are there, where the buyers are there, where the sellers are there, and they interact. When we talk about interaction, we are referring to they are communicating to each other, and the communication forms are different in nature that we will touch at a later stage. It could be inferred from, or it can result from the definition that the buyer and seller interaction is crucial to market. If the buyers and sellers are not able to communicate with each other, then it would be very difficult for the buyers to explain the prospective customers or the customers about their products, about the benefits, about the features of the products, and therefore the customers, on the other hand, would not know as to what kind of types of products are there in the market which can actually solve the problems they have. So a proper, when we talk about market, so there a proper communication, it facilitates a proper communication. What? An arena, that is a demarcated space where there are shopkeepers, where there are sellers, and where there are buyers physically present there. So these the definition therefore suggests, about the should give us idea as to what the market should mean to us. Now the second term, that is marketing. So I have chosen few definitions, rather to be very precise, three definitions, to have just a basic understanding of what this term marketing means to us, and then I will be discussing later on the other videos as we proceed on with the subject. So as per the definition, marketing is a societal process. Societal process is a group of people. What is a society? Society is, when the few individuals, they combine together, so that becomes a society. So it is a societal process, that is by which individuals, either people as an individual or group. Now groups is when we refer to the market or the number of the people, the potential buyers, the present and the potential buyers, that comprises of the group. So individual and groups obtain what they need and want. Now need and want, again, need is what? Need is something which is something devoid of. That is what the person requires. Need, not necessarily, technically speaking, but of course this need is a problem with the person. Wants is the different types of satisfiers. Again, I'll be in my next video, I'll be discussing these few terminologies which have been taken by these authors in their definition. Through creating is to making a product. Offering is as to what price and what are the other terms for selling. And freely exchanging products is product exchange in lieu of money. This is what we call it as a freely exchanging products and services of value with others. Value is the importance of the product to the buyer, and the value in terms of the monetary aspect for the organization. So, putting together is this definition, therefore, states that to define a marketing situation, sorry, there should be two or more parties. So here, one party is seller, the other party is buyer. So, for example, I'm taking these two parties now. These two parties with potential interest. Potential interest is the seller is ready to sell the product at a price, and the buyer is ready to buy the product at a given price, or the price demanded by the seller. Capable of communicating with each other. That means there should be an atmosphere where these two parties communicate with each other. Let's talk about market. Market is a physical, for example, I take it as a physical aspect, physical place. So these are, where the buyer and seller, they come face to face and they can discuss. The buyer will ask for will tell about his or her problems, and the seller will give the solution in terms of the product, so that the buyer gets satisfied by buying the product, because the buyer has got certain problem, and to solve this problem wants the product. So this is the a general idea where the exchange, it takes place with each other, and possessing things of value to others. Hence, marketing consists of number of facilitating activities. So, when we talk about marketing, it is facilitating is which helps in the process of where buying and selling can take place. So, marketing therefore consists of number of facilitating activities. And therefore, another definition is according to Stanton, marketing as a total system of interacting business activities designed to plan, price, promote, and distribute want satisfying products and services to present and potential customers. So, let me discuss about this definition now. Marketing is a total system. So that means when we talk about marketing, this is a part of as a system around which the organization works. So that is where marketing is the central aspect of any business activities. So total system of interacting business activities. There are other activities. Broadly, when we talk about a manufacturing organization, there are 4 major activities, and these activities have been grouped together on the basis of their similarity within the department. For example, when we talk about marketing, so there is a sales department to sell the product. Then we have got the production department where the raw material has been converted into desired products. Then we have got a finance department where the arrangement for the funds to run the organization and to take the stock of the the transactions that we call it as accounts. And then we have got HR department who looks after for the the human resource aspect, the selection and the recruitment and the training of the personnel. So this becomes the total system, and marketing is one of the system, part of the system. So these business activities designed to plan, price, promote, and distribute. Now, this is the 4 P's of marketing. I will discuss this in detail, and the whole marketing is based on these 4 P's. Popularly, these are being called as 4 P's. Plan is when we plan a product. Then it is a price. How do we come along with a price for a particular product? Then promote is communicating with the potential buyers as to what are the various medias to reach to the to reach the scattered potential buyers all over the place. Let's talk about India. So throughout India, the buyers are scattered. So how to reach to the all the individuals or the potential customers and distribute here, means as to how from the point of manufacture, how the product travels to the point of consumption, that is to the consumers. So broadly, retailers and wholesalers comes into this picture. They move the product because the wholesaler buys the product from the manufacturer, then the retailer buys from the wholesaler, and the consumer buys from the retailer. So this is the chain. This is what we call it as a distribution channel. So these are the 4 P's. Want satisfying is the desire satisfying products and services to present and the potential customers. Very important is for any organization to develop is to keep on increasing the number of customers. So we have as a marketing manager, one should look for the present to satisfy the present customers, as well to add on the potential customers who will buy the products in future, or make the other people buys to buy the product at any stage of life. So when we talk about this, according to this tension, thus the marketing is the process of exchange involving 2 aspects. Important aspect is a mental aspect and the physical aspect. Now, one is mental aspect. The mental aspect is involvement is that the seller must sell what buyers want, at what price, when and where, what quality, in what quantity, and similarly, buyer must know what is there for at what price, where and when, so that both these parties, there is this is what we call it the mental involvement. Both the parties should know as to what the seller has an offer to give to the consumers, and the consumer should know as to at what price, as to where he or she can get the product. So this is what we call it as a mental aspect involved according to this definition. And second important aspect is the physical aspect. The physical aspect implies, or the physical involvement here in this definition implies that the actual movement of goods and services from the point of production to the point of consumption. Now, what does it indicate? It indicates that, for example, if I'm making a product in, say, in Delhi, and the consumer is in Bombay. So this product has to, has to reach to the buyers in Mumbai. So one aspect, physical aspect, involves the transportation aspects, what we call it as a logistics aspect. So this is where, where there is an actual movement. One is transportation, what we call it as logistics. The other is, as when I refer to as the distribution channel members, that means the wholesaler buys the product from the manufacturer, retailer buys the product from the wholesalers, and then the customer buys from the retailer. So these two are the physical aspect which helps in the movement of the product from the point of manufacture to the point of consumption. And the third definition is, according to American Marketing Association, marketing is an organizational function. In Principles of Management, we have studied as to what organization is. That is where, the work has been divided and subdivided. So marketing is an organizational function and a set of processes, various activities for creating, that is developing a product, communicating value to customers. Communicating is that the customer should know as to who is manufacturing product, what kind of product, at what price. So this is communicating value to the, value is both in terms, we should get both the ideas. One is the price value, and the other is the importance of the product to the customer. So both these aspects are involved, and therefore communicating value to the customers. and for managing customer relationships. Now this is very important, where the salespeople comes into the picture, customer relationship, even the retailers, they develop the relationship with the customers, and this is very important in in selling the product from the seller's point of view. Customer relationships in ways that benefits the organization and its stakeholders. So this exchange should take place in a way that both the parties, that is the organization who is offering the product, who has to make an offer, and these its stakeholders is the people who are working for the organization, the customers, the people who have put in money into the organization. So all those people who are associated directly and indirectly with the organization can be termed as the stakeholders in this organization. So hence the marketing refers to the various group of activities that take place in a market. These activities are either planned or spontaneous. So these broader activities, when we talk about the planned and spontaneous, means here is, for example, production, storage, assembling. These are all planned activities. Consumption, however, it is a spontaneous consumption. At any moment of time, it can go up, it can go down. Consumption here indicates the requirement of the product by the buyers, by the consumers. So that is, this is what it means by. And therefore when it becomes spontaneous, so the whole process has to be changed accordingly. The business organization, the activities within the organization, changes with the changes in the consumption pattern in the market. So, before going further into the subject, let us understand few terminologies which very often do come into the discussions, which I have already mentioned. If you're looking onto the slide, you'll find that is the elements of marketing. The marketing has following elements. One, need, wants, and demand. Let us understand these three terminologies which are very frequently being used during the course content. A need, what is a need? A human need is a state of felt deprivation of some basic satisfaction. Now, earlier in the definition, if you refer, I have mentioned about this need. Now this need is what? A problem, a felt state of felt deprivation. That means the thing which we do not have, that state of mind or that state of situation is being called as a need. So therefore a need is a problem which is not there with the person or with any human being, which gives some basic satisfaction. So every problem has got a solution. In the same manner, when we talk about need, there is a need because we do not have something, and why we want to have something? Because to gain satisfaction. Now these needs have been broadly classified into two types: physiological needs and psychological needs. We might have learned into this when we in the Maslow's need hierarchy. Physiological needs are the biological needs which the body tells us. Psychological needs are related to the thinking pattern, the brain function, where we got to know from the environment, from the system, about the various things. Psychological needs is, if for example, if I look upon a particular, say, a product, it is only then my need generates, because I've seen that product, now I think I should buy it. So this is what these psychological needs means to us, and physiological is biological needs. Biological needs are with the body tells us, for example, thirst, hunger, food, shelter. These are being called as physiological needs or the basic needs. Another important term is want. Now, wants are desires for specific satisfiers of deeper needs. Human wants are continually shaped and reshaped by social forces and institutions, meaning thereby, for a particular need. For example, if I talk about thirst, now thirst is a type of physiological need, a type of need. Now, to satisfy this need, we have got various options. For example, we have got water, we have got juices, we have got say squashes, we have got lassi, we have got drinks. So many types of drinks are there, so by which we can satisfy our basic need, that is thirst. So wants are the desires for specific satisfiers of deeper needs. The various options you come up to satisfy the basic needs, those are being called as wants. So for example, if you are hungry, you want food. Now food, you go for specific satisfier. That means you want Indian food or Mughlai food or say South Indian food or continental food or French food, whatever it is. Now these are the wants, these are the various options you have to satisfy the basic need, and the basic need here is hunger. These human beings are continually shaped and reshaped. Now, this is the area of concern for us as a marketing student. No want, remains the same. It keeps on changing. And why it changes? Because by the forces of the society, that means the social forces and institutions, for example, media, advertisement. So it is not like that we like a particular thing today and we don't like that particular thing tomorrow. Why? Because there are other things which have come up. So our requirements keeps on changing, our wants, our needs keeps on changing with the action of these social forces or the institution. Institution is, for example, you want to be into sports, you want to become a business person, you want to become a sports person, or you want to become a dharmat person, whatever it is. So those are the institutions which decides upon as to what you should buy, what you should not buy, or what essentials you should buy. For example, say if I say a professional person, a business person. So for example, for men it is like to have ties, to have nice suits, nice clothing, leather shoes, wristwatches, nice handbag, nice pen. So these are the various things which forces you to buy because you want to be in a particular into a particular stretcher, and that shapes and reshapes the requirements of the people. So these keeps on changing. Another important aspect is demand. Now, demand are the wants for specific product that are backed by an ability and willingness to buy them. Now, for example, you buy, say there is a product, say for example, there is a pen worth 500 rupees. So, everybody would like to have that. But whether the person or the customer has got the ability is the purchasing power. Purchasing power, whether he has got the money to pay, that is 500 rupees, or he is willing to pay 500 rupees for a pen. So, and number two is willingness to buy. One is ability to buy, that relates to the money the person is willing to give, and the willingness, whether the person is willing to buy. There are situations where the people they have got the money but they do not have willingness for the product. So when we talk about demand should satisfy both these equations in terms of consumer customer's profile, or the potential customer profile is that they should have an ability to buy, that is purchasing power of the person, and the willingness to buy. Now when these two conditions are satisfied, it is only then we call it as in marketing as a demand. We are looking for a person who has got the willingness to buy, for example, for a particular product, but does not have the ability to buy. So this person does not belong to as far as the demand is concerned, because willingness will not only serve the purpose, his ability to buy the product, then it will serve the purpose for me as a marketing person, for me as a business person. Another important term is product. Now, a product is anything that can be offered to satisfy a need or a want. Earlier I have been discussed in my previous lectures. We should understand this, that when we talk about a product, that is, there is a particular problem, and this problem is been converted into product. Product means there are solutions in the product which solves the problem of the customers. So this is what this indicates that a product is anything that can be offered to satisfy either a need or a want. So these products can again be broadly classified into two types, that is the tangible products and the intangible products. Intangible products have been very commonly being used as services. Services are also products. Services like banking services, communication services, teaching services, your salon, etc. You're traveling, for example, your airlines, your railways, your roadways, all these are all intangible products. These they provide services only. Whereas when we talk about tangible products, there is a change in ownership. For example, your refrigerator, fridge, pen, pencil, chair, desk, mobiles, and whatever these are all tangible products. What we can see, we can feel, we can use it. But intangible products, we can only avail these services, we cannot own these services. So this is the basic difference between the tangible and intangible products. So the another element of this marketing is value, cost, and satisfaction. Now, value, for example, value consists of two aspects. One aspect is the cost aspect, and the another aspect is its importance. Meaning thereby, when we talk about cost, cost is the for example, the manufacturing cost of a product is, for example, is say rupees 10. You add a profit to it, and that becomes the price. That means the cost plus profit is equal to price. Now the customer has to pay rupees 12. So for him or her, the cost of the product would be 12 and not 10, because he or she is giving rupees 12 to get a product. So this is one aspect of cost that is related to the money aspect. Another aspect of value in marketing is in terms of its importance, the how important or how valuable the product is for a person. For example, if I talk about say all educated people or the students for that matter, pen is of utmost value because it helps in writing and recording the things. And for people who are uneducated, for them the value of the product, that means the value of the pen, has no importance because they do not require it, and this is what we call it as. So whenever we talk about value, it will refer to on the subject concern, whether we are talking about in terms of its price or whether we are talking upon in terms of its importance of how valuable the product is for the customer. Another is aspect related to is satisfaction. People generally select those products which give them relatively more satisfaction than the competitor's product. Generally, as I've said earlier also, in the Indian community, for example, of the Indians, we are very price conscious society. The price becomes the deciding factor in the selection of the product. For example, if I'm getting, say, in this particular example, a pen worth rupees 10 rupees pen, and I'm able to get the same quality product or almost of the same quality product at rupees 8. So I will choose, the rupees 8 product over and above the rupees 10 pen, because it will give me more satisfaction in terms of its value, what we called it as, in terms of its cost. Another important aspect is market. So therefore, in market consists of all the potential customers sharing a particular need. So all those people who require or who have got have a similar problem and they're looking out for the solution for the problem. So that becomes, the market for the particular product, who might be willing and able to engage in exchange. Willing and ability to pay, both the aspects should be covered in exchange to satisfy. In exchange what? To give money and to buy the product. That means when we talk about buying the product, that means transfer of ownership from the seller to the buyer to satisfy that need or want. So when you have got the willingness to pay and you have got ability to pay, and another condition is the product is available into the market at a certain price. So if these conditions are prevailing at a particular given situation, the exchange will take place. Now further, I would like to inform all the viewers that more other videos on various topics of marketing are mentioned in the description box. If you want, you can refer to those topics of different subtopics of the marketing subject. Thank you.